are now tuned in to DAR Sports Media, and we are all in here on the show tonight. All in review show, maybe a little look forward to some other stuff, but it's going to be mostly all in. This is going to be a little bit of a gauntlet casino battle, whatever the fuck they call it, match, because we might have some people running in and being introduced as we go. Holy shit, the rules to that match were so fucking stupid, and I'm going to get into that later. But I want to start off. I don't want to jump right into negative, but I will say that the reactions to the match online made me feel very out of touch with the AEW audience. Joining us first of hopefully many, our man Saltine from Twitter, Saltine MMEH. They run a Twitch show. They have wrestling content over there. Tell us what's going on with your stuff there, Saltine.
What is going on? Get your ass whooped. Is the one and only Saltine. What's up, everyone? It is I from Under the Mat Radio. You can follow me at Saltine MMEH, or you can follow Under the Mat Radio at tech_UTMR. Stuff coming up. We're gonna post it on our Twitter page. We're gonna let you know with upcoming. We just interviewed Scott Hudson, which is posted on our Twitter page. So please check it out. Upcoming guests that's come up, we will post it on our social media. You will know. Definitely.
Listen to that. Velvety fucking smooth. I'm looking for this guy to be doing a fucking midnight night shift radio over there on the R&B station down there in fucking Baltimore. God damn it. Love it. Of course, the True God. So we'll just do chop stops status. Tell me what was the highlights of the show? Let's do that first. Let's start off positive. What was your favorite stuff? And we'll just fucking vibe on what your favorite things from the show was. What was your highlights there, Salt?
Highlights of the show, I would say, of course, it's no order, right? Okay. I would say
just what you like.
The Daniel Bryan. I'm keep saying Daniel Bryan. I'm gonna call him Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson versus Swole, not Swole. Shane Strickland. I keep messing up his name. I keep saying Swerve.
We've all been day drinking here for All In.
Oh my God, Swerve. Excuse me, everyone. Swerve. That match was good. I have to admit, it was like passionate match. You could tell everything that's going on. My goodness, I'm like that daggone knee he does. I say it looked like he did it 3 times in that match. I was like, ain't no way. Come on. You already know that was the false finish move. They had to do the false finishers. Surprisingly, I wasn't expecting Kristen to win the Battle Royal, which was confusing to me. I'm like, really, Kristen? Like, we all thought it would be,
Hangman.
Hangman. Yeah, everybody was saying, yeah, Hangman won that. I was like, huh, Kristen? That was another one, and the third one, I should say, the women's match. I would say Tony Storm and Mariah. I was surprised they was gonna give it to Mariah because I was like, Tony Storm might gonna keep this one now, but in All Out, they going have their rematch, but I wasn't expecting that, which was good. There was like 3 things I would say that really hit for the show that I was fascinated with.
I can't say enough about that Danielson Swerve match. Holy shit. I don't know how anything tops that as match of the year. The level of emotion. There's so many little things that I talk about all the fucking time that are differences in the way that things work in modern wrestling. And there are great examples there. Instead of doing false finishes, they did false finish sequences where it seemed like a logical path of like, this is how a match would end. And then it was the kick out. And then it was the kick out. It's different than just, let's just do each other's finishers on each other and kick out of them 1,000 times. There were match finishing sequences that brought you in to make you think, holy shit, this is going to be the end of the match. They did a bunch of those. They did it fucking amazing. It was getting emotional. It was getting real emotional. Watching Danielson draw strength from his children. That was fucking amazing. I cannot say enough good about this match. I don't know how any match could possibly catch up to it this year. Goddamn incredible. What is also goddamn incredible is, I believe, Brandon McMullen, he of the Plugs, has joined us here on the show. What is up, man? We are going over the things that we loved, highlights about All In before we maybe get a little bit critical. Our guy Saltine here, he just talked about how much he loved the Danielson Swerve main event. I joined him in loving that match as well. I was waxing poetic about it being the match of the year by a fucking mile. It was so damn good. Danielson Swerve, and then what else on the show stood out to you as a positive?
Listen, that to me was instant classic. Like, that's exactly what I was looking for both of them to give. And Brian, for that to be potentially his last match, which we already know that was not going to be the case because they had his wife and his kids in the front. He was not losing the night. Like let's be real. But for real, like, he is one of the best dramatic emoters that I've ever seen as far as wrestling goes. Like, he knows how to draw you in to make you think that he's gonna lose. He finds that last minute strength, and he comes back, and it's a different person. Like, after he turns the switch on. So I was proud of him.
It was incredible. True, what were your thoughts on the main event, man?
You already know, man. Anything Danielson does, I'm a 100% fan. Anything he does, just about. I mean, unless he do something with Chris Jericho, that's probably the only thing I don't like that for him. But I think what I saw in that match was, I think, when Swerve won the championship, I think a lot of people were like, okay, here's his chance to show and prove. And then he's went out and had what I think are arguably the two best matches of the year on pay-per-view, with Ospreay and then with him and Danielson. And I think the added emotion with Danielson, I remember a couple weeks ago, people were saying like, oh man, and I was of the same feeling too, that they didn't build it the right way. It felt like it was too much Hangman influence. And I didn't like that. I personally didn't like that. I wanted to be singly focused on Danielson and Swerve, because if Danielson was really ending his career, Hangman just in the back, it didn't make sense to me. So even though Hangman did get involved, I actually could have done without the Hangman involvement, but I understand they're trying to build to all out.
I have thoughts on that. But keep going, because I was so pissed when it happened. But then they kind of saved it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so my thing is, like I said, I understand the Hangman thing. I get what they're trying to do, and I was just hoping that Hangman wasn't the one who cost Swerve the title. Exactly. I just didn't want that to be. Yeah, I didn't want that. So. When I saw Hangman, I was like, okay, you kind of expected it. And I just think that ending was so intense. I think that's just one of those endings where you just watch it back. I probably watched it back now probably like 10 times. So, I think people use the word cinema a lot in wrestling, but I think that is absolutely one of those cinematic finishes. And I mean, just the whole, his family being there. First of all, Danielson blading in front of his children, which is I just think that's insane. Wow, man. Make yourself bleed in front of your kids. And then to have his, Bree come in there and bring the kids in there, celebrate, and then to go in the scrum after and have his daughter sitting there with him. I mean, for me, obviously, that touches me personally. Just thinking about my daughter and just seeing that, and him saying that, you're more important to me than anything, and that includes wrestling. It makes you wonder, when is it? We got John Cena announcing in WWE, he's hanging it up next year. So it's like, we're about to lose to, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're losing a lot of our guys, man. Like, this is like a whole era of legendary wrestlers. And so I'm glad we got Danielson for a little bit longer. But my question is, after this, with the way he was talking at the scrum, how much longer? So it's bittersweet a little bit, but I love, like I said, I love the match, and it was.
I think he wrestled past Wrestle Dream. Like, let's be clear. I think he wrestled past Wrestle Dream in October, and I think he's gonna be signed, but he's gonna be part-time. But he's gonna wrestle whenever he wants to wrestle. But he's not going to totally away, because let's be honest, Tony's made it very clear. I want Brian in AEW after he retires, and if something happens to me,
he ain't going.
He's gonna be the one to run AEW. Like, Tony basically said, if I were to die tomorrow, Brian, that's who I can give a book to. That lets you know right then and there, he's not going nowhere. Like, he's going to be around like Sane, but I think he's going to be
who
more.
we should give the book to now.
Brian.
So 2 points I had to follow up on what True said. The Hangman Page situation, I was fucking furious because I thought that they were going to go home like right after that, and I was like, you can't, like it, and especially because at that point the match was flowing so fucking well. The suspension of belief was going so fucking well. Everybody was so locked in. It was so intense. I'm like, please don't let it end like this because of an interference. But the way that they made it so it looked like Danielson was dead. It looked like Swerve was going to finish him off, the final bullet in the back of the head, and Hangman just saved him from dying, basically. Didn't give him the win, but he saved him from dying, from Swerve winning. That was a beautiful way to do that, to involve him, to get Hangman into a situation where he can fuck over Swerve, but still maintain the sanctity and the veracity of the match going forward, because they went like another 5 to 10 minutes. So then it became forgivable. I think could have done a slightly better job of depicting what exactly the deal was, but still, I forgive it. It's still a 10-10, 5-star, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Another thing I want to bring up, because True, you brought up the kids and the way that they were involved. I don't know if we've ever seen in a match before. We've had matches where they showed the people's family. You know, just recently with Sami Zayn with his wife in the front row. You know, we've had things where you can see people's families in the front row. And they show shots of them like looking concerned, you know, and things like that. But we've never seen a situation where a guy is drawing strength from looking at his family and calling out to them. And the I love you when he was getting hit. I was getting fucking emotional. Like, that was the it's been a long time since I was that emotionally wrapped into a wrestling match. That was fucking incredible. I don't know if we've ever seen it outside of this match. The exact way they depicted it. Yeah, it takes a really special and unique confluence of factors to make that happen.
Can you imagine if Kenny Omega had kids? Listen, that's the only time that we were going to get at, is if Kenny would have a child tomorrow and he bring her out to the pay-per-view. That's the only time that we'll see that. Other than that, I think it ends at Brian.
Amazing. Saltine also brought up Mariah May, Tony. I'm guessing that was a highlight for everybody else here as well, because, you know, it lived up to everything. What I will say is that, and this is not a knock, because I think it's the best women's match of the year so far, especially, and you know, North American promotions at least. And it will be a top 20 overall when it's all said and done.
Right.
I expected a little bit more punching, a little bit more choking, a little bit more violence, and this was a little more wrestling, but it was fucking excellent. It was a fucking excellent match. Holy shit, Mariah bladed. like there was a lot there. Some context as to why she slapped her mother would have been great, but whatever. Excellent fucking match. Excellent payoff. I think they made the right choice. We here on this show have many times. We think that Mariah is a 5-star prospect. The sky is the fucking limit. She's fucking amazing. Great matchup. What'd you think? Expand upon your points earlier, Saltine. What'd you love about that match?
Well, you know, Tony was basically like afraid to hit Mariah. She was like, hit her. She put you through all this crap. She was like hitting with the shoe. You know her platinum thing about hitting her with the shoe and everything. She was like crying, like, and we was like, everybody was like, hit her. We was anticipating that hit, but it didn't happen. So it gave Mariah, said, oh, I'm gonna get her now. And then Mariah came up with the win. It was like, damn, I thought Tony was gonna come out the winner, but Mariah was smart to play into her weakness, which was good. I will have to admit that she played a well game. She really did.
Played along. What'd you think, B-Mac? Did that match live up to your expectations?
Let's be clear. AEW signed her 9 months ago. You would not have known that she has been wrestling in AEW that long, because she came on television already built up like a star. And the fact that she literally said, I love Tony Storm, but bitch, excuse my language, I'm here for your spot. I expected her to show her stardom style tonight. I expected her to be more stiff with her Japan style. But don't get me wrong. They did what they had to do. And it's definitely one of the best women's matches that I've seen in a long time, especially on pay-per-view. Now I need her versus Athena. So they need to get that title of Athena as soon as possible because I want that on pay-per-view.
Oh my
at
gosh.
least
that would be
2025.
Amazing. That would be an amazing match.
And she's definitely going to be the future face of that, of that division with Jamie and Miss Monet. Those are the top big three right there for that division. Oh, and Sheeta as fourth.
Yeah,
that's an ill lineup.
True, the queen of DAR Sports Weekend Wrestling came through. This match finally happened. Was it everything that you were expecting and more?
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna keep it a buck. So I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I missed like half of it. You know what I'm saying? Full disclosure, you know what I'm saying? I can't order the shit, so I have to, go through the hood methods of finding the right streams. So that's that kind of what took me a while to find it, because I didn't think they were opening the show. I was hoping, and maybe I could have asked this, who the fuck was opening the show. And I thought it was going to be Jericho because they were trying to get the performance out the way. That's what I thought. I was under the impression Jericho was opening the show. And then I saw somebody tweet like, oh shit, Tony and Mariah. And I was like, what? Like, and I started, trying to find what I could find. And I don't know. Like Tony and Mariah being on so early, I don't know. I just felt like that was maybe a later in the night match where maybe you do Mercedes and Britt earlier, just because. Well, I'm not gonna say too much about Britt, but yeah. I thought what I did catch of it was great. I think Mariah is excellent. She is, like you said, we spoke about this so much on the show. She is so great at everything. From showcasing her emotions to showcasing like the agony and pain. She sells amazing. Like everything she did that I got to see was just from top to bottom amazing. And the whole slap thing, I mean, I don't really understand, but it's like maybe it was just like she's losing herself. It might be something tied into the All About Eve movie that I don't know. Maybe there's.
I mean, even with no explanation, it was still like, holy shit, she slapped her own mom.
Yeah, like that's
him being in the dictionary. We're gonna get clearance on that. We're gonna know by Wednesday because he'll have us covered because he always gets the background information somehow. So I was wondering about that too, though. Yeah, like okay, like why smack your mama? Like there was no
provocation.
I mean, look, I know wrestling is different. I just don't, you know what I'm saying? In my world, slapping your mama is crazy. Like, that's just, you know what I'm saying? That shit don't happen. You can get your ass whooped. You get your ass if you try to slap your mama. So that's why I was just like, yo, she bugging. And it added to the effect of like, this is, Mariah is really, like, she gone. Like, shorty out here. She done. She gone. And that was for me, it's like, yo, Mariah has taken every single thing they've given her and just made it work. And obviously Tony as well. Tony is phenomenal. I think for me, although a lot of us are talking about the Danielson and, Mariah May crowning the champions, I think the work that the previous champions did to make those belts feel as important as they did, and that match, feel as important as both of them did. I mean, just phenomenal. I think the Tony and Mariah story was so excellently played out and laid out that watching it kind of come to a culmination with this kind of match and Mariah winning, I'm just anxious to see what happens next. Because I mean, we know it's not over. So
I don't think it's over. I don't think it's over.
Yeah,
I think this is chapter 1. This is just chapter 1.
Yeah.
I definitely think they got a chapter 2 in them.
So what else?
No, they definitely.
What else from the show, B-Mac, did you like? What stood out to you?
that Casino Gauntlet. First of all, can we talk about the fact that we got Zack Sabre Jr.? Hello, he just won
that was cool. That was real
he
cool.
just won the G1 Climax, and he showed up to a pay-per-view. I know people are like against this, but I would love for Tony to somehow get him out of his deal and onto AEW TV, because that man belongs on television. I'm sorry, New Japan, that man's a star. And if y'all don't treat him right, Tony's waiting to do what he's doing with Okada and Ospreay in the wings. So they need to play his moves very carefully. And the fact that we got the grizzled young vets, which, if I'm not mistaken, their tweet is alluding that they're all elite, because they said grizzled all elite. That tag team division needs them. So I'm here for them versus the Bucks.
If anybody's out there unfamiliar, I didn't know what was taking so long, like, in the first place. I thought that they would have been over there ASAP after they got out of the WWE, because those guys are fucking excellent. They are fucking, they're like a British FTR. I'm so serious. They are damn good, and good on the mic too. So,
like Sean was saying, there was a part on money, but clearly that worked out, and they got the bag, because you don't show up on the biggest pay-per-view of the year outside of WWE and not have a contract. So I'm here for what they're going to bring to that division. And this is just a shame that we've run the course with FTR, because I would like to see them running back with FTR.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that came out of, so I guess I'll do my piece on the Casino Gauntlet right now. I guess it was for, like, the audience that it was for really enjoyed it. So I'll good on them for that. It wasn't for me. I don't understand. To me, it's bad enough in the Royal Rumble when people just stand back and watch two guys fight, but it takes it to another level of what the fuck is happening right now when it's one fall to a finish. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And, like, why is nobody going for pins? And why is nobody going for submissions when you're being left? There was a lot of that.
The thing that confused me was how Christian won it. I was expecting Hangman to win that and come out later in the night and fuck up the church's money with Swerve, but we didn't get that. So I'm like, wait, how did he go from losing the trios to winning the? I need some answers on that, because he's not.
Bryan Danielson's father died.
Yeah. Well,
that's really it.
Okay, all right.
That's literally it. That's
Bryan Danielson's father
died.
Bryan Danielson's father died, but also Bryan Danielson's whole thing right now is that he's torn between going home and being a father and being the world champion. That's the whole deal. So I think the Christian and the interaction between him and Christian is going to be fucking excellent. One thing I do want to, yes,
I can imagine.
I do want to ask you guys all about, which is something that happened in the Casino Gauntlet, which some people seem to be pretty upset about, but I liked. I saw a lot of people saying that was a waste of Ricochet's debut.
Absolutely
I steadfastly disagree.
Absolutely
I think that was a great fucking way to have somebody debut. You have the guy come out, big pop, big surprise. He gets to shine, do a couple of spots that make him look fucking awesome. Great. Can't wait to watch him on Wednesday.
Kyle Fletcher next week. They just not set up him versus Kyle Fletcher next week on Dynamite. So that was the perfect ending to that.
Yeah, no, I thought they did a great fucking job. What'd you think of Ricochet's debut there, B-Mac?
I'm happy for him. It took maybe 4 years too long, but he's finally home where he's going to get to shine. And now I'm already looking towards him versus Hologram on Collision. What? Ooh. Oh my God, I need him versus Hologram. I need that next week if possible. Pull double duty.
Salt, what did you think, man? Ricochet, you thought that was, it sounds like we all think it was a good debut. Saltine, you liked it?
Yeah, I agree. I liked it. That was his first time coming out. That's his debut. Hey, I'm in the mat. He did his spots that you said. When he, like, next week, or like you say on Wednesday, he can come introduce himself. He can have a match and say, "Wow, I'm here at AEW. I'm here to shine. I'm ready versus best." That's a good introduction. I mean, when we had AJ Styles came at the Royal Rumble, it was just like
exactly
in the Royal Rumble. I'm like, okay, this is introduction to him in AEW. So It was good. It was great.
I agree with God though. Keep him away from Chris Jericho. I don't want to see him anywhere near Chris Jericho, or I am going to explode. I don't want him anywhere near the tree.
Lord,
He cannot.
We're getting to that part of the show.
He cannot.
Careful what you ask for.
Drew, you liked it? Ricochet?
Yeah, man. I as someone who I saw Ricochet up close and talked to him briefly at Wale Mania, and I kind of knew then. Like, I think that was kind of I couldn't say it on the show for the last couple months. But I kind of knew then that like this is where it was going, but I thought they were gonna do it differently. But I figured once last week or so, I was like, oh, okay, we're doing the Casino Gauntlet. Okay, it's weird though because I was not expecting him to debut with the whole Hangman Karen Jarrett thing. I thought maybe it could have been something else, but I thought it was just kind of a weird segue.
Versus, I thought they was going to do it Will versus MJF, because Will was basically talking you out of your panties contract-wise to come to AEW.
So here's the thing about that. I think that would have been interesting because, for one, it would have put Ricochet right in the mix of the international title now.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know what they're calling it now, because MJF is calling it something different. But so it puts Ricochet right in the midst of that. Yeah. So I thought if you want to do something crazy, and I think they're kind of leaning into it already. Kyle Fletcher versus Ricochet Wednesday, I feel like they're kind of leaning towards it already, to where we could possibly see.
They don't need to book him versus Will no time soon. Save that. Let it brew.
Okay, I hear you. What a bad habit of AEW is. They love to.
They gonna give it to you as soon as. So there's two things. AEW does: either take too long to give you something, or they give it to you a little too soon. Like, it's very rare that we get something right at the perfect time. But I feel like All Out. We got All Out with. We obviously gonna get Garcia versus MJF. So Ospreay needs a challenger. I think is Pac challenging? Is he supposed to challenge at All Out? Is that what it's supposed to happen? So is that supposed to be a shot?
He is owed a title shot.
I can't remember. Yeah, so he's owed a title shot. So we could see that at all Out, which would be great. But then we got Wrestle Dream like a month after that, and I feel like Ospreay's probably gonna still have the belt, because I don't think Pac's gonna take the belt from him.
Like, book Takeshita versus Ricochet. You want to get to the final boss?
I mean, look, I hear you.
Have him go.
I hear you, but this is Tony. Put you like that. That's Tony. and Tony's a lot, which I'll get to that a little later. But Tony's a little different, and I think Tony's idea is, I want to give the fans these matches right away, because hell yeah, let's fucking go. That's who Tony is. Yeah. And it's like, booking for the sick, like that's who he is. So I could see Wrestle Dream if at a place, Wrestle Dream is probably or Full Gear. Yeah.
It's a dream match.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think he's going to be mainly a fixture on Saturday nights on Collision? Because the way Tony be booking for Collision, I could see him getting Beast Mortals versus Ricochet on a Collision.
Logically, I think he's a better fit over there based on how they're structuring the show. But knowing Tony, right, what I know now, I'm 90% sure they see Ricochet as like the Dynamite fixture for sure. So I don't know if that's going to be. I don't.
His style of wrestling.
I agree,
because to me, the Collision wrestling is grittier than Dynamite. So he belongs on a Saturday, in my opinion.
I think he'll be.
I don't
he'll be a fixture. Yeah. You know what?
He's gonna be on all the shows probably.
Because everybody's kind of listed what their highlights are. We're 30 minutes into this. What What you guys?
My highlight.
Nothing about nothing about MJF and Ospreay yet.
Wait, why
I didn't
haven't
see
we
that
talked
match.
about Jamie Hayter's return though? Jamie Hayter, that's the one we should be talking about.
Yeah, that was fucking fire. I don't. Everybody
Would have
like
been great to see it on the main show.
I honestly, I didn't really think how much. I mean, it is a segment that would have fit on the main show, but I didn't.
It's a reason why it wasn't.
But did you notice how she came back solo? She wasn't top to Britt, and she didn't run down Mercedes Moné or Camille. I'm just saying, maybe the rumors of them not getting along is true.
I mean, I think that's what True's getting at too. Nobody has mentioned
where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Nobody has mentioned Ospreay and MJF yet.
I didn't see it. So
I didn't get into that match till second half because that first half was kind of dry, but the second half they picked it up.
Yeah.
What'd you think there, Salt?
Yeah, we picked up second. That's first half. It was kind of slow. So then the second half, it was getting suspense. So yeah, I do agree. But the ending of the match, it was surprised that Daniel Garcia came back. I was like, okay, people thought, oh yeah, is he going WWE? But we don't know yet. He just came to make an appearance with AJA. Did he sign the extension with AEW? That's the question.
He has not signed an extension. He has not.
There's another little another little thing that I see. It's just little things that I pick out throughout an AEW show. I'm just like, what the fuck? Why does everybody need a fucking mask for a run-in? Like, you just, like, I get they do things because it's like they want the end effect, like they want the unmasking moment, but it's like they don't put the details in the middle of like how you get to that end effect. Like, why the fuck would he need a fucking mask on to run down the ramp? Like, I don't. I never understand that.
That didn't. Yeah. I saw that. I didn't see the whole match, but I saw that. And I was like,
while I'm thinking about it, is okay. You have Mercedes and Britt. They do the spot with the Eddie Guerrero thing where she falls down and Camille's holding the belt, inferring that she was hit by Camille with the belt, and that's why. So right, the moment they wanted to get to was her getting kicked out, but the detail in the middle of how you got there. If the ref turns around and thinks that the heater hit somebody with a belt, how is that not a fucking disqualification? How is that enough of an infraction to kick her out? Wow. But it's not a disqualification. What the fuck? Anything? Does anybody want to? We'll do half and half here. I think we've done a lot of positive. Anybody got any thoughts and feelings on that Mercedes Britt match?
Mercedes look great.
Like I thought she would.
I will say that is the greatest wrestling entrance of all time. Corgis, hell yeah! What do you think?
I thought I was watching the Queen of England really pull up.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was fucking fantastic. What'd you think? Yeah. And listen, Camille looked fucking great too. It was everything.
Yeah.
Whoever her creative team is, give them a raise times 10 tonight because they did that. That was the best female entrance I've ever seen of any women's wrestler in a long time. Like,
that's very creative. Very creative.
That was it.
So, what'd you think of the match?
The match was fine in the caliber. It was fine. It was fine to me. It could have been better. It wasn't as it wasn't as epic as we thought it would be. It was their first match. It wasn't like a memorable match, but it was good. It was good.
She got robbed. Oh.
True.
So my man Salt said it wasn't as epic as we thought, and I laughed because I was like, man, y'all know what I thought that shit was gonna be.
Yeah, it was just as epic.
It was epic.
Drew thought it was gonna. It was epic. All right.
It was that. Look, I've said this multiple times. Mercedes to me is one of the absolute greatest women's wrestlers in professional in history. And she will do whatever it takes to have a great match. And we've said this on this pod. When she gets in that ring, she is at a different level. And I mean, look, I know they say you do the best you can with what you got, but Britt, hey man. Also, I want to address something because I saw it go viral, and I usually don't address these things, but it was in reference to Britt Baker doing the Panama Sunrise, and there was a deleted tweet from someone. It said, "Stop doing that move."
Oh, he
you cheated on him. Yeah, he deleted it. Which let's be clear. There's no confirmation of that. And sometimes we tend to get a little hasty in the things we say, and probably not the smartest decision to make because like that's my guy. I don't have a problem with him. But I just thought we can't do that. We can't do that. We can't do that. And that's not. You can't do that when we watching the match because even if there's some truth or validity to that, which there's a little different dynamic, wrestling relationships. I'll say this: wrestling relationships, cheating is not much of a thing as you think it is. A lot of that stuff is very open. So I think we should probably not go that route. But I will say Britt Baker, yeah, Britt Baker should never do a Panama Sunrise again. I agree with that. I brought that up to say I agree with the sentiment.
She should never do that move again.
Never, because that was all it's like Mercedes like flipped her ass. It's like it was so dead weight. It was like Britt doesn't even know how to bounce, and because it was a pause before the flip, and it was like Mercedes had to like lift her and do it herself. And I was like, okay. But outside of that, like I said, Mercedes continues to show why I think why she's so great, and I wish she had a better dance partner for such a large setting, considering that we're talking 50,000 people watching Mercedes. I think I think Sheeta would have definitely been the better match. I don't know what Sheeta's situation is. I mean, she's been gone for a while, so off the Japan thing back and forth. So I to my knowledge, I think she's back for a while, which means we'll probably see her on TV. I'm pretty sure we'll see another Mercedes Sheeta match not too long from now, because if we look at the roster, there's not a lot of women that are really I guess in that position to go at her next, because the Brit feud, I assume this Brit feud hopefully is over. I don't know.
Do you think we get her versus Jamie? Monet versus Jamie?
Not yet. Not yet. I don't think Mercedes versus Jamie happens just yet. I would say if they do that, might be a Full Gear thing. I think heading into All Out.
Like on
you could.
Let's watch the AEW side, because if we talk about Ring of Honor, I would getting her versus
you could do Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa, Mercedes would be a great fucking.
I mean, because Thunder Rosa just beat Deonna Purrazzo, right? Like in that match, and she was crying and shit, and like I'm back on track.
Would be a great fucking match with Taya Valkyrie would be a great fucking match with Mercedes.
A lot of good matches, and Mercedes willing to wrestle. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Dynamite, Collision. She don't give a shit. She'll wrestle well.
Is with the graps.
And Mercedes love that style. Her versus
one more positive. I thought the Sting cameo fucking rocked. I wasn't too much with the match that preceded it, and it looked like a lot of people weren't in that into it too. But that Sting cameo was fucking bitching.
I don't fuck with no Jack Perry. Regardless, you already know that.
Perfect way.
You already know that. But yeah.
Quick. What do you think was? I think we're all probably going to have a similar answer here. If I were to guess, Salt. What do you? If anything, we're going negatives now. What do you think was dog shit on this show?
That Chris Jericho match and Hook. There's too much going on. Everybody was jumping in. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Yo? Like, what's what? They did my boy Brian Keith wrong. I'm like, yo, you look stupid doing this shit, man.
It was another example of what I said. AEW wants the moment, but they're sometimes poor at figuring out the details in the middle. Why the fuck would you bring Taz out at the beginning? if that was your plan was for him to have him under fear, you have him come out of fucking nowhere. You're like, holy fuck, it's Taz. He's had enough of watching this happen to his son. Why would you bring him out?
Yeah.
And talk about, we brought Taz out for the match. What the fuck are you? It was Chekhov's Taz. It was like, obviously Taz is going to be used, and you kind of dull the moment. What could have been, it still was fucking cool to see him lock in the Taz mission, but him coming out of nowhere would have been way fucking, because it's like you already had it. Like they already had the commentary team set up to make that happen in a smooth way. And then you went out of your way to draw attention to the fact that you got Taz out there for this match. I was like, God damn it, man. That fucked that up for me. Was there anything that you thought?
They should have kept that on pre-show with Chris Statlander and them. They should have kept the Darby match on the pre-show. That could have been the tone setter, not on the pay-per-view. To me, that wasn't a pay-per-view quality match. Either one of them, that was below AEW's standard of a pay-per-view match. And I don't want to see them for a long time wrestling each other, him versus Darby. Like, let Darby get a shot at the heavyweight championship.
I'm not going to lie. I expected big things. I was like, these guys are going to fucking kill each other. And there was still some good violence. I'm not gonna, disrespect it. Obviously, there was some pain suffered for sure, like respect, but it was not at all what I thought it was going to be, and it looked like that disappointment was pretty universal. True. What what did you what did you see as the negatives to the show?
Hey man, I'm about to go a little left here, man, just because and Jack Perry, I don't have nothing positive to say about Jack Perry. Although, like I said, I did think he's done some decent stuff over the last month or two. But look, for all intents and purposes, if Tony Khan wants to allow somebody to perform on his show, we can fix the Commander theme and get me back out there, really, because I could put on a better damn performance than Jericho did, and I don't understand why Chris Jericho doesn't realize he can't fucking sing. That's one. I just want to point that out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's no diss to Jericho. It's just truth. You can't really sing. And like, I saw him do karaoke years ago at a bar, and he was doing karaoke at like a bar, like after a WWE show, and it's like 7 years ago, and everybody's out, and he did it, and I was like, damn, this dude can't sing. I'm like, he got a record deal, and he like tour and shit, like it's crazy. And then to go out there, have a bad performance, and have a dog shit match after, it's kind of like, yo, you're taking up all this space and time on television. You're not adding anything. Brian Keith could be doing so many things better. I like that Big Bill got a huge ovation in Wales, and they were chanting for him and all that. I think he also could do better. I just like AEW has very, very much so moved beyond the need for Chris Jericho on their weekly television and all and like I said, I don't really, the Hook thing, I didn't care. Like, even him putting over Hook, like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? It's insignificant. He could say, oh, I put him over. It's like, you should never beat him in the first place. Should never been champion in the first. It's just like you get another belt. You eventually have to lose the belt anyway, right? So it's not like you did anything special about putting him over. You had to get it first and lose it. And like, oh, you get the big moment with Taz. I agree with you, Eric. Would have liked to not have known. And mind you, I listened to the match. I didn't hear it. I heard it. I didn't watch it. And because I was like, I'm not watching this shit. It was on my tablet, and I was just like, I'm not paying attention to that shit. And then I heard Taz talking on commentary.
Hook would be better suited for Ring of Honor. AEWRH, the rebrand, when they put that on True TV, because I definitely think that's going to True TV. He would be suited for Ring of Honor versus AEW TV.
So let's also point out that this impending announcement that we're still waiting on, the most important announcement in AEW history, has not dropped yet. It's pump faking. They pump faking, man. They've been pump faking for months. They pump faking.
That's why that press conference annoyed me, because nobody asked about that. They asking Will about a divorce, but you couldn't ask about the TV deal.
Yeah, I don't. So I don't want to shed too much light on Mercedes Monet was asked about her divorce by media member at the scrum. Yeah, and I just want to point out, man. Well, Osprey, you're my guy, but you got way too excited at seeing Dave Meltzer in the scrum. Way too excited. Didn't you know? I could say some shit, but anyway. I think.
This question. When do you think they're going to finally announce the TV deal? Because it's the worst kept secret at this point.
It's the wrong place to ask that question. Who the fuck knows? Overall,
I'll put it to you like this. They could have announced it this week, and they might still announce it this week. Maybe they just didn't want it to, I think, look, Tony Khan is like the worst person at hiding things. You know what I'm saying? He's the worst person at hiding things. So you're doing all your media for All In with the Warner Brothers Discovery hat, the Mac. You never wear hats. Nobody ever sees you wear a hat. So it's like you're putting it out there like, oh, we got the deal. And I mean, it's, allegedly supposed to be for significantly more money than the last one, which, hey, Tony, you got more money. That means you can pay people. So, I think, but I think at the same time, you still, it's like the excitement of the announcement will still obviously take, AEW faithful fans and make them very excited. But I think the longer you wait and kind of prolong it, it's kind of like when it does get announced, it's like, oh, okay, well, finally, it took you long enough. And I think if he was quiet about it and it wasn't always in the headlines every single week and media people saying like, oh, it's about to be announced, and then we're like a year later, like a year ago, this was supposed to be like a thing where they were working on a framework. And I mean, I do know some of the details on that, but I thought that was done almost done a year ago. And then I think, not saying too much, I think what AEW wanted to do was just take a slight peek at other people and see if there was any other interest to give them a little bit more money than Warner Brothers Discovery. But I don't think anybody was really going to offer them because it's not many. I'm not going to say it, but there's one other person.
Well, I can spit a little bit of tea on the show. I do know that Rampage is being talked about being moved off of Warner Brothers Discovery platform and moved to like another separate network altogether that ain't got nothing to do with WBD. I do know that.
It's interesting.
Overall,
I can't say anything.
Overall letter grade. Overall thoughts on AEW's biggest show of the year, BMAC.
9 out of 10. Okay. 2 matches aside, 9 out of 10 because they stepped their presentation level up for their interests. Production was the best I've seen them in their 5-year run tonight. Keep it that way.
Aftermatch with Danielson, with Final Countdown playing, and the fireworks was fucking out of control. It was fucking incredible. Incredible.
My only gripe with that is that Swerve didn't come out to Shaka Khan's classic. Ain't nobody.
Oh my gosh. I missed it. That entrance is so fucking good.
Oh.
That would be good.
50,000.
I think we've talked about it on here. I don't know how in Swerve and in his camp, I don't know how they view that. I don't know if they view it like having our music
I can tell you
is better. Yeah, go ahead.
I can tell you. So Swerve has done a lot to get away from whatever he was in the past or whatever he used in the past. And I think it's a personal thing for him to get away from that. And, in his camp, what he's trying to do now is cultivate what you see Bun B, West Side Gun. He brings Kevin Gate. Like, he's trying to cultivate that image for himself and his crew because he is very much hip hop artist in the realm of, working with a lot of, legends and a lot of people are and it's almost like bridging the gap for the culture, as they call it. I don't like personally using that, but but he has the connections. And he was at the Grammys the other year, and so I think he's trying to erase a bit of what was in the past and focus on the future, which I'm not necessarily mad at that. But I agree with a lot of people who said they would have liked to have seen it, even if it was like a brief 10-second thing, and then it switched right into because that would have been like, this is who I was, this is who I am now. But I know that there's a very concentrated effort to focus more on who Swerve is becoming and not who he was. So I know that I can. Yeah.
But 50,000 people singing Shaka, Shaka.
Yes. It
in
was
Wembley?
such a good entrance too, man.
Oh,
God
man.
damn it, it was so good. Salt.
I'm lucky.
That would have been top 10 best intros. Just because, let's be honest, not everybody listens to Shaka over there. But you coming out in front of a crowd that big, that would have been
Salt.
like the icing on the cake for me.
Overall grade. Overall thoughts.
I'll say A-, personally.
Yeah.
The only two thing was, of course, the Chris Jericho match, and the Mercedes Monet and Britt Baker could have been better, but A- for the show.
What about you there, True?
I give it 8 out of 10 or B, whatever.
Yeah, I'm more in the B+ range myself too.
I think Britt Baker sucked and Chris Jericho sucked, and I think, I didn't see the MJF. Like, I heard the MJF Osprey match, but I didn't actually watch it. So, I guess I go 8, maybe 8.5 out of 10. I think it's I don't know if I consider it the best AEW show of the year, but I think it's got the best match of the year, so that puts it in a high contention. So I'll do 8.5 out of 10.
That was like a generational match to me.
Yeah, just for Swerve Danielson is
So right, I go. So 2 matches sucked out. Yeah. Oh no, hell yeah. 2 matches sucked out loud. 2 matches just weren't for me. I give, if that's the type of things that people like, then that's the type of things they like. The gauntlet and the ladder match. I could take or leave. Say this.
All In definitely has me amped for Grand Slam 2025 in Australia, which they dropped that bomb this month before the pay-per-view. Like,
yeah, that's going to be.
What?
I'm
got
super happy for more international shows. But
and they got All In.
The show also had 2 match of the year candidates. So
they
2
got
match of the year candidates as well.
Coming
to
London next year.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff on the way. International
Do you think they
shows.
do Cottage for Forbidden Door?
What's that? Oh, the Cottage.
Do you think they do Cottage for Forbidden Door?
It seems logical, but they sure haven't shown much fucking interest in doing it. So, I think that would be. I think that would be
not yet
cool. But
2026. 2026. Not 20. I'm 90%, 95% sure 2026. If anything changes, it'll be, or if anything happens, it'll be probably somewhere in around Forbidden Door next year, and maybe like they do like a special Dynamite or something. But they're not pay-per-view wise. Maybe 2026, but I know for sure that that's a plan, but it's not imminent, as they like to say.
Well, I definitely think they need to do more outside shows, because clearly London loves AEW, because their crowd tonight was wild, and it kind of makes me think, like, why can't American crowds be like that for wrestling
the same way, both companies when they go out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll be there when that happens. We thank our guests, Saltine MMEH on Twitter. We got our man B-Mac, the most plugged in guy, IWC, Brandon McMillan on Twitter. Of course, True, my main man. I know, but the man comes through on the info. I'm just saying. Of course, True, every week here on DAR. We got a ton of stuff going on. College football show dropping. NBA's right around the corner. Pay attention to the Medium site. Articles going up on there all of the time. I just got done recording a couple of hours of football content with the United Football Media. Check out their YouTube page when that goes up. We appreciate our guests.
I'm going to have to come back on y'all's podcast sometime, because like y'all vibe is my vibe. So I'm going to have to definitely put my plug out there. I'm going to have to come back on this podcast sometime, anytime. Be free to hit me up. Dog, you know the DM.
Fuck yeah, both of you. Thank you so much. You guys both fucking rocked it. That's why we get, these guests, our vibe, our content is because the world of DAR never stops.